Welcome in. I am Samantha from Samantha Savage Wisdom, here with the Savage Girl's Guide to Men. If you haven't already, give me a follow on TikTok under Samantha Savage Wisdom. This is my podcast on the Savage Girl's Guide to Men. This is episode 1. Okay, let's get into it. Today's episode is going to step on some toes, but that is why we're here, right? Savage Wisdom doesn't sugarcoat, so we're going to talk about one of the biggest mismatches in dating. Men find love looking for sex. Women find sex looking for love. Same action, totally different intentions. And this mismatch is behind 90% of the dating stories that we share with our sisters and our friends. I've seen this play out in my own lives, the lives of my friends, and every day with the messages that come into my DMs. So if you ever felt like you and the man you're interested in aren't even on the same page, you're right. And let's start with men because we really need to understand what is happening here. Most men go out seeking sex. That's the entry point, that's the goal. It's not love. Love comes later, if at all. Here's the problem. He chases sex. He gets it. If the sex is consistent and the vibes are good, he'll continue. If she starts to make him feel like a man, he starts to confuse that with love. Notice the difference? He doesn't start out looking for love. He stumbles into it. Think about that guy you know that swore he wasn't looking for a relationship. But 6 months later, he called her his girlfriend. What happened? He didn't suddenly decide to fall in love. He just liked the consistency and the convenience enough to upgrade the label. This is why so many men accidentally fall into relationships that they weren't ready for. They confuse access to sex with actual emotional connection. And I too have heard so many times the stories that my friends have told me. Someone that they were dating, that they were just kind of casual about, and eventually it gets serious. But it never really turned into anything. It just was consistent and convenient. They settled for the crumbs he was willing to give her because he gave it a label. And he gave it a label because it was consistent and it was convenient. Wasn't too much work for him. And now let's flip it. Us women, we usually enter from the opposite door. Most of us are looking for love, connection, security, partnership. But in the pursuit of that love, we are willing to accept sex along the way. Because in our brains we think, if I give him my body, he'll realize how valuable I am. He'll stay and he'll choose me. And this, my friend, is why so many women end up disappointed. Because we tie sex to meaning while men don't. Think about situationships. She thinks they're building something. He thinks it's just casual. This is why I talk about women fall in love with oxytocin, the cuddling. That's how women fall in love. Men fall in love with vasopressin, stress, and doing things for a woman. That's how he falls in love. So these are completely two different ends of the spectrum. No wonder it's so hard to find someone that wants exactly what you're looking for. Because at first, it may not even exist. And this is where the train wreck happens. Men find love by accident. Women chase love with intention. This mismatch creates chaos. He starts thinking this is just sex. She's thinking this is the start of love. No wonder situationships never work out. No wonder situationships are everywhere. This is also why modern dating feels so frustrating. And that's because men and women are playing two different games and they don't even realize it. And on the dating apps, men are swiping looking for hookups. Women swipe right hoping that it leads to love. And that's why so many women end up drained, while men just walk away wondering why she's upset. Bottom line is we're operating on different entry points that don't match up. So here's the savage truth. Sex isn't proof of love, and sex is not proof of commitment. For women, stop confusing access to your body with proof of his feelings. Your body is not the audition for his loyalty. For men, stop confusing consistent sex with commitment. Just because you're showing up in bed does not mean you're showing up as a partner. Love and sex can overlap, yes, but they are not the same currency. And one doesn't automatically buy the other. Mic drop, men fall in love by accident, women fall in love by intention. The game is rigged unless you learn the rules. And ladies, that's what I'm here to share with you. And we all know that story, that one person who met a guy, they started dating. They had the first date that never ended and they stayed together for years and years and years. But think about it. Are they really happy? Were they ever really happy? Why did he stay with her? Why did he choose her? Because he had access to her and it was convenient. Why did she stay with him? She thought it was love. She thought him sticking around and being there consistently was commitment. Not necessarily. Maybe it worked out, but were they genuinely happy? Ask her. Pull her aside and ask her. Or did they both settle? Because I love it when someone asks when I'm going to settle down, and then I ask when they admit they settled. Here at Savage Wisdom, we don't settle. Attention, ladies, this is where I'm going to teach you how to date like a man. Intentional with every single step. What you need to do is you need to listen to what he says in the beginning. If he says he's not looking for anything serious, that's exactly what that means. Realize that and act accordingly. This isn't a puzzle to solve, that's the answer. If he says he doesn't want commitment, believe him the first time. Don't try to flip a situationship into a relationship. It's not worth your effort. By making his intentions plain early, that will help you avoid and vet the men that you're dating. One way to do this early on is to set boundaries. What happens when you tell him no? Watch how he responds. He wants to come and see you one evening. You have a busy day the next day. You'd rather not. Say no. Put yourself as a priority and see how he responds. That'll tell you everything you need to know about how much he cares about you and your desires and your needs over his desires. Another thing you need to do, ladies, is you need to detach sex from proof of love. Do not use sex as a test or an investment strategy with men. It'll leave you heartbroken every time, and this is because of the dynamic of the women fall in love with oxytocin and having sex and bonding, whilst men do not fall in love that way. Your body is not the marketing brochure for your worth. And ladies, let me tell you, if he disappears after you set a boundary around sex, he was never going to stick around to begin with. So thank him for showing his intentions right away, wasting less of your time. Because let me tell you, these jokers love to waste your time. And ladies, how I want you to handle this is while you're dating him and getting to know him, I want you to be collecting evidence. Be watching how he acts. Be listening to what he says. Look for discrepancies. Look at his intentions. Collect this data on him before intimacy. And that's because men need to date to see if the sex is worth their time, and women need to date to see if the commitment is worth their body. Some practical ways to deal with this situation is to wait a certain number of dates before you're intimate. And what you're doing in the meantime is you're watching his consistency, you're watching his effort. Another thing you can do is wait until you meet his friends to be intimate. While you're watching his actions and in his intentions and listening to what he says, you're looking for any inconsistency and you're leaving at the first red flag. Most of all, watch how he acts when things aren't convenient. Is he willing to be inconvenienced for you? That's the biggest sign if a man likes you or not. If he's willing to do something that inconveniences him for you to help you out in a way. Like if you have a low tire, if you have, your car needs gas, something like that, that puts him out just a little bit to see how he feels about you. Because a man that doesn't really care about you, he is not going to be inconvenienced by you. You want to know what I have learned in all my years of dating and interacting with men? Love reveals itself in the boring, day-to-day, mundane things. Consistency, accountability, showing up when you're sick, being proud of you for an accomplishment. Score these men on their actions. Score them on how they provide for you, what they do for you, how they're willing to help you, how they're willing to be inconvenienced to make your life better. And shift your focus. Instead of wondering if you're good enough for him, shift your focus to, is he good enough for me? Is he deserving of my time, my effort, my energy, my body? Stop auditioning for a man who has not even bought a ticket to the show. Ladies, I know this one is hard. It's hard to slow things down when a man is wanting to push and pursue quickly. The love bombing is the worst. But it's up to us to set the pace and to tell them that we've got to slow down, that things are moving too fast. And that is a boundary. If they do not follow that boundary, that's a red flag itself. You are deserving of slow, consistent, intentional love. Don't settle for anything less. So if he's trying to push those boundaries and hurry you, rush you, so that you can get to intimacy faster, that's a red flag as well. Wait your time. Stand by your boundaries. You've got this. Most of all, I suggest mirroring the pace. If he's casual, you stay casual. If he invests, you invest. You do not invest more than him. And once again, if he's trying to move too fast and rush into things with you and lock you down before you've really had a chance to get to know him or he's had a chance to get to know you, that's a red flag. And ladies, let me tell you, these men will rush you. It doesn't matter how young or old they are. They will rush you. The last guy I dated was 60, 59, and then turned 60. He too was trying to rush me. And when I told him that I was looking for something more serious and not just a casual sexual relationship, he told me that he felt like love at our age is more about appreciating what you have in the day, in the time, not obsessing over what it is, what label it's going to be, where you're going to go, where you're headed. I took this as a big red flag and I ended things. I knew that is not how I wanted to be loved, and I ended things with him. That doesn't mean he didn't circle back around a few times, trying to see if I had a moment of weakness and I would accept his crumbs. Because that's exactly what they always do. They circle back, offering their crumbs, waiting to see if you're going to be desperate enough to accept them. And ladies, here at Savage Wisdom, we're too valuable to accept those crumbs. That's not what we want. That's not what we want to have in our life. That is not the kind of love we want for ourselves. Don't be afraid to walk away when it no longer serves you. Know your worth. Know that you are deserving of everything your intuition and your heart tells you that you are wanting. That is out there for you. And this is something I've always told my own daughters. There is no one from my past, and there's been a lot, some that broke my heart, some I broke their heart. There is no one from my past that I wish I was still with. Give yourself time, give yourself grace, give yourself love. You'll get over that person, and in a month, a year, whatever, you'll never even remember their name. Because let me tell you, that's happened. People have circled back around, and I'm like, who is this? I don't know who it is. All of this is wisdom that I have learned through lived experience and trauma. This is wisdom that I wish I would have known 30, 40 years ago. My life would have turned out completely different. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help other people, help younger women. I'm here to educate and empower and bring everyone together on the same page. I would offer this wisdom for men, but we all know men don't listen to women. So we're going to have the good men step up, mentor these other men so that we can all live together, meeting the needs of each other while respecting each other and respecting each other's boundaries. This mismatch is why there's heartbreaks, situationships, and confusion everywhere. If this episode hits home, share it with your bestie. I'm sure she needs to hear this wisdom because I guarantee she's been through this too. Give my podcast a follow for more Savage Wisdom and drop your take for me in the comments. Do you agree? Have you seen this play out? Join me next week. We're going to be talking about why the dating apps are trash. And trust me, you don't want to miss this.